It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that one and done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball information. And it's a Sunday. So you know what that means. It's news and notes time for the week that was in college basketball. We're happy that you joined us here on the show. If you don't know, now you know. My name is Jay Heinrich, and I'm the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train at Dr. William Cannon on X, alongside the man around here known as El Capitan himself, the captain of the one and done ship at MC Holland 34 on X, the OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, good to see you as always. Let's hop right in
Yep.
to our opening possession of the show. What do you got?
Yeah, well, this was an awesome weekend of college hoops, man. Wisconsin pulling an upset over the weekend over Michigan, and game of the week, man. It was pretty thrilling. Came down to the end. They go into Ann Arbor. They erase Michigan's undefeated record, winning 91-88. Wisconsin flirting with kind of dancing around a little bit of bubble action, some early bubble action, right? It's only January 11th today. But they start off league play 2-2, so obviously a big win for them. The question with Wisconsin is really, can the defense hold up? Now, obviously, they gave up 88, Jay, so didn't get too many stops, but they got a couple of stops under a minute that really helped them out there. And that's how this team's going to have to win. Offensively, they're going to have to be great because you do have Boyd, Blackwell, and Winter, a really nice offensive trio. But defensively, like they kind of have to be that bend but don't break type of defense. So, yeah, awesome win for Wisconsin. And then something that we've been chatting about, Jay, just want to touch it again, man. Tennessee, the woes kind of continue for them. I still don't know what to think of this Tennessee team. Like Rick Barnes, a great coach, obviously. I don't love the upside. They aren't elite defensively, like top three, like they've been the past 3 years. Offensively, in the 3 league games that they played in the SEC, they're the second worst offensive efficiency in league play in the SEC. And if it's not Ament or Gillespie, they just don't have anything offensively that scares you. You know, the bigs, Brown, Carey, Opara, they just have to bang inside to get theirs, even though I think Opara should be taking 2 to 3 threes. He's hit 4 out of 9 this year. I don't know why they don't allow him to take more threes because he just catches at the top of the arc and then he looks for like a dribble handoff when the guy guarding him is just kind of standing at the free throw line. So I don't know. We're 15, 16 games in now, so they kind of are what they are, I would think. I just don't know that it's really going to work against quality opponents. And then something you touched on about a month ago, Jay, the A10, man, it has to be a 2-bid league at this point. I mean, currently sitting with 5 teams inside the KenPom top 75, George Mason, St. Louis, Dayton, George Washington, VCU. While all the realignments kind of changed this conference over what we grew up loving in the 90s, right? Like they have some teams that can get on the 11 and 12 line. They're going to be a headache. So yeah, A10 looking like a back to a 2-bid league.
Tennessee is 13th in defensive efficiency according to KenPom right now, and we're used to them living in that top 3. It's a big difference from that top 3 type, even being number 13. Oh, well, the 13th. Oh, that's their identity, man. Like,
yeah.
It's a huge difference when you're up there at the top right there. And we're just not seeing what we're normally used to seeing out of Tennessee. And when that doesn't happen, nothing else lines up either. So tough stuff there for the Volunteers. We'll see if they can get it done. And tough stuff for the Jayhawks of Kansas here as I go into my opening possession. West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Take me home, country road. I didn't sing a lot of it on our DFS show because we didn't give the Mountaineers too much love, but I sing a little bit more tonight as the Jayhawks now drop to 1-2 in Big 12 play after losing to West Virginia. Kansas's only win, Mike, you remember that. It was in overtime against TCU. Their defense has been absolutely dreadful in the 3 Big 12 games that they've played. We're a big like point per possession type analytics type show here. When you look at that 120 points per 100 possessions, Mike,
that's ugly.
That's UGLY. They ain't got no alibi. That is ugly. And I don't care how great Darren Peterson is on the offensive end. Bill Self has to figure this out before they end up on like a 7 or an 8 line. Which, again, if you're a 1 seed and you end up with Kansas on your 8, it's like seeing UConn as an 8 last year.
That's exactly.
And that's what we might end up looking at here. But it doesn't matter if you don't have a bench, and Kansas does not, Mike, at all. they're lucky if they get 6 to 8 points from their bench every night. So we'll see how the next couple of weeks play out for the Jayhawks. It's not getting any easier, man. A couple of days. Guess who's coming to town, Mike? Iowa State. Good luck. And of course, I'm waiting on Darren Peterson to make that business decision and sit out anyway. So we'll see if it gets any clearer for Kansas and if they can turn that ship around as well. My second take of the opening possession here, Villanova continuing to turn heads, Mike. If you had the Wildcats sitting at 13-3 overall and 4-1 in the Big East, 25th, top 25 KenPom team, Mike, on January 11th. Congratulations, man.
Nice.
Get them Powerball is like almost 150 million right now. Go get you a ticket. If you had all that, shout out to you. The loss to Creighton right in the middle of the week kind of stings a little bit, but they've done everything that they needed to do to put themselves in position to make the tourney so far this year. And they're doing it, Mike, in that true Kevin Willard fashion as well. Just methodical, slow, efficient on both ends, just playing good, solid basketball. And in response to that, they're getting the dubs.
Yeah.
And we didn't think in the preseason, man, like guys like Duke Brennan, Bryce Lindsey, we didn't really have them tagged as impact players, but they have been just that for them. This week coming up is big for their long-term prospects as a team. Road matchup, Providence on Tuesday. And then like sort of a semi-home game against St. John's on Saturday. So we'll see if Villanova can keep it going. Hop in the live chat if you have not already. Let's see. Oh my God, it's cooking. I should have known better. It is on fire. Darren leading us off. That's right. The world famous One and Done podcast with the conductor. That's me. And then over there, the captain right that way over there. Will there be a mid-major minute on tonight's show? If you wait about 45 seconds, you'll find out the answer to that. Ryan Osterman, our guy from Bracket Bids, hopping in there. Good to see Ryan. Shouting out the A10 for sure. Of course, we're going to see our guy Nape C. Hustle in there after Bang Bang Niner Gang figured out a way to do it. A mid-major minute and a Niners win. What a day for Nape for sure. Darren reporting, I don't know if Justin Herbert actually got killed on the football field.
Right.
We hope not, but
Yeah.
we'll see if it goes. Yeah, Ryan, Kansas with the 7 seed last year. Yeah, I mean, it is a whole new world.
Oh, nice.
You knew we were going to get there. Singing a little bit more tonight. I'm digging it. Keep the comments going, man. We're definitely appreciating how live the live chat is. And, of course, it's in the live chat. If you ask for it, by popular demand, it's everyone's favorite segment in the world, probably. It's time, once again, for the mid-major minute.
All right, welcome back to another edition of the Mid-Major Minute, and I got to talk Murray State Racers hoops out of the MVC. The Racers are boat racing the conference so far, 7-0, so 7 wins and sitting alone at the top of the conference. They scored 79 plus points in every single conference game, and Coach Ryan Miller is running this huge 11-man rotation, playing at a blistering pace, led by Javon Jackson, who is a transfer senior guard from UIC, been nothing short of amazing. The Valley is once again one of the top mid-major conferences in the country. Belmont, Bradley trying to chase them down, but the Racers off to a 2-game lead. So we'll see if Miller and his program can continue this spectacular run. We'll shift gears and go over to the Sun Belt, where we have the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. After a rough year last year, Coach Ladner has his Eagles back up at the top of the conference. Really love that they played a challenging non-con schedule, a top 100 non-con schedule. Had games against LSU, Ole Miss, Miami, and that's really allowed them to come out 5-1 in the Sun Belt, behind this number one defense during Sun Belt play. So 5-1 currently during conference play, and they're getting it done in an old school way. They've got some retention. Tyleek Weeks, the forward's been really good for them. Guard Isaac Tavares, he is out right now with a finger injury, but he's been great for them. And they have this crazy 4-game road stretch coming up. We usually don't see that during conference time, but we'll pay close attention to it, and it starts Wednesday at Troy. And we'll finish up with the ASUN, the Austin P Governors, 10-5, 4-0 in the conference. Corey Gibson program is off to a fast start thanks to some tough defense as well. They were ranked 336 in the country in defensive efficiency 2 years ago. They're all the way up to number 101 right now. A lot of their success can be credited to their front court. Returning big, Rashad Marshall is averaging 12 and 6, while NAIA transfer Colin Parker has been the jack of all trades. He's leading the team in scoring. He's also in second in rebounding and assists. So the P take on Eastern Kentucky this Thursday before a huge matchup on Saturday against Lipscomb. That was a quick trip around the country in this edition of the Mid-Major Minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. At the best sound in the game here. I mean, where else do you get those sort of tunes gracing your viewing device and your ears here while you hang out with us? And it looks like Jonathan's hanging out with us too. What up? Good to see Jonathan in the live chat, as well as the Big Ten over SEC. Lipscomb. Whoa, no love. Out there. I love some A-Sun trash talk in the live chat. Why not? Let's do it. I love it. Keep it going for sure. Hit those subscribe buttons if you haven't already. What it do? Good to see everybody in the live chat. Thanks for joining us. Might be Big Ten over SEC's first time hanging out with us. If it is, we definitely appreciate that for sure. All right, Mike. Everybody's hanging around tonight, and that's because I think after, of course, the Mid-Major Minute is why everybody shows up, and that's why how many people have hit that subscribe button? What do we got? 1,726 subs at the time of recording. Let's get up to 1,730 right now. Push all those buttons if you haven't already. But they're here for the Mid-Major Minute, Mike, and then, of course, they're here for our world-famous Top 25 Power Rankings, and it's going to start, man. Hey, this is it's obviously we love when we introduce people into the top 25 power rankings. Welcome to the show, Miami of Ohio. We're going to give them that top 25 spot, Mike. It's a little, hey, with the caveat, like they haven't lost, man. Okay. So if they keep going and they keep deciding that they want to win, then we're going to keep them in that number 25 spot. All right. How about that? We'll just keep them there. Welcome back to the rankings. Florida coming in at number 22 there. And they destroyed Tennessee. We talked about Tennessee earlier, man. And Florida had their way with them and actually got some guard play. Shout out to Florida backcourt, man. We saw some signs of life. Mike got that win against Georgia as well. So a good week for Florida, back in the top 25. What you got, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, Utah State put the beat down on Boise State on the road, and they look like they're the class of the Mountain West. And not the best week for Iowa, who took a bad road loss at Minnesota. Lost a close one today to Illinois. So, when you're in this 21 to 25 range, like it's just kind of tough to kind of split hairs here. But their metrics still look really good. They're definitely hanging on by a thread. And then we talked about Villanova, but this tier will probably continue to see at least, I don't know, Jay. I mean, it's like the ever revolving 21 through like 30, really. Like we're just going to see teams coming in and out. So yeah, I mean, we'll give Miami, Ohio some love. They're undefeated. It's like, it is what it is at this point, man. But obviously teams like Florida, losing some pretty tough non-con games, man, and looking good in SEC play so far.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The first five right there in our top 25 power rankings. Let's keep it moving here as everybody's hit those like and subscribe buttons already. Of course, we know that you have. We appreciate that. Hop in the live chat too, the liveliest live chat in all of college hoops. As we move on now to 20 through 16, we'll run it down. Arkansas, Alabama, Virginia, Louisville, and those aforementioned Georgia Bulldogs. Arkansas and Alabama both falling 5 spots into this tier, dropping a whole tier here after their losses. Arkansas getting blown out by Auburn by 22 points, and Alabama obviously fell, man, to a Texas team that had to get a win. And Alabama, you hate to be the team that is the slump buster, but that's like what Alabama played that role for Texas. It's not necessarily the scarlet letter that you want to wear, Mike.
Yeah, and if you look at this Texas team, like people are kind of shocked, but it's like the one team Like Texas was built on getting in transition and getting up and down. They're super athletic. So like, what's the one team in the SEC that's going to play that way? It's Alabama. So I don't expect the Texas trend to continue. But yeah, Arkansas and Bama falling here. Virginia took care of Cal and Stanford, but they got a tough 3 game stretch here. It's going to tell us a lot about them, which we've kind of been waiting for. They got Louisville, SMU, and UNC next, the first 2 of which are on the road. And Louisville landing back on their feet, got the win over Boston College. They're still without Michael Brown Jr., so obviously he's a game changer for them. And then Georgia had the loss to Florida, not the Florida Georgia line, but they had the loss to Florida on the road. But they grabbed a victory and a bounce back against South Carolina, although it wasn't that pretty. But man, hey, like they've got the wins to kind of back it up right now. But they're probably the team in this tier, Jay, that I fear is going to have a significant fall if they can't really handle business during SEC play.
No doubt about it. Moving along with the top 25 countdown here. We have 15 through 11 up next, the right smack in the middle, right? Basically, this is like the if our top 25 power rankings were days of the week, this would be Wednesday. Like right smack in the middle. 15 North Carolina, 14 Illinois, 13 Texas Tech, 12 Michigan State, and 11 the Zags hanging out. No change there, but a well-deserved, top 15 finish here for the Zags. Not a lot of changes in this tier. North Carolina, Illinois coming up a couple of spots after solid weeks. And Tar Heels fans might have to be a little uneasy after the Wake Forest ending, man, but they still got the dub. No change for Tech, MSU, and the Zags. I'm like, MSU, I type it out like that and I read it sometimes, but it always feels weird. I don't know why. I just got to say Michigan State, you got to just
Yeah.
say it. Michigan State, Yeah.
Yeah, Texas Tech, man, tough road loss at Houston early in the week, but bounce back with I mean, I don't want to say it's a bounce back win. They beat Colorado. It was on the road. Michigan State obviously continuing to roll. We kind of talked about them last week, where they kind of got clear line of sight to this game coming up in a couple of weeks, where they should come in with 1 loss with Michigan at the end of the month. And then Gonzaga still perfect in WCC play. I don't expect them to pick up more than 1 loss in WCC play, so they'll continue as other teams lose, probably climb, even though KenPom really likes them. But they're driving up these metrics, Jay, just kind of based on playing unfortunately the Pacifics and Loyola Marymount's that don't quite have the talent to stack up with them on a nightly basis.
Do you think Gonzaga loses at all? Like they're gonna end up with maybe 3 losses over the whole
Nah.
season? Are they gonna sort of finish what's your sort of outlook for them, do you think,
Yeah, I mean, I think we
by
look
the
at
end of the
this.
season?
Yeah, I mean, I think we look at the St. Mary's games obviously as their toughest test. They came up with the win over Santa Clara,
Yeah.
who obviously is not Santa Clara. They played really well against them. Coming down the stretch, it kind of just fell apart for them. But yeah, I mean, sitting here at 17-1, favored in every
Sheesh.
single game. With again on KenPom. So yeah, the 2 St. Mary's games, the one on January 31st, and then we have one to end the year on February 28th. That's on the road. That's probably the one that's going to trip up. Although they did have to go to overtime to beat Seattle, so yeah, there could be a game in there that's kind of a trap game. But
Trap.
Seattle's pretty talented, so yeah, I just still see them losing the games.
Johnny K saying, told you the Zags were back to themselves early this season. Wouldn't want to have to play them in the tournament. Yeah, that's a tough out no matter what, man, for sure. Thanks for hopping in there. Always good to see you in the live chat. Let's move on now to the next 5, of course, after everybody has hit those like and subscribe buttons. And you're going to do it in 3, 2, 1, push. Okay, got it. Good. Excellent stuff there. Into the top 10 of our top 25, starting with number 10, BY. Mike, you're looking at all of these teams and all of their records. There are so many teams in mid-January that have not lost more than 1 game. And we're just sort of waiting for these scales to tip
Yeah,
a little bit,
right.
right? Everybody's not going to finish the season with 1 loss. Okay. So when are these teams going to start to separate themselves? We'll see if it happens soon. But looking at these 10 through 6, BYU, Duke, UConn, Houston, and Vanderbilt, a lot of teams that have fallen. You can see the red arrows there next to the names in this tier. But are you we are Vandy truthers, I should
I guess.
say, yet?
I guess at this point, they
I
haven't
mean, at this
lost.
point, I mean, it's okay. I'm down for it. I'm down. They haven't lost. They did beat Alabama, right? Alabama's not having a great week. But Mike, we still have a hard time picking like 7 to 10 here to lose to who. Which of those teams would lose to
Yeah,
Vandy, right? But
yeah.
again, they haven't lost yet, so we're gonna give them the respect and show them some love there at number 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough, right? Like these teams are having great years. Like you said, one loss essentially, but then we have to give the respect to the teams that are undefeated at this point of the season, Jay. Like, I don't care what your schedule was, and it's not like Vanderbilt hasn't played anybody. They're beating teams, man. You got BYU, they're kind of cruising 3-0 in the Big 12, but the schedule is about to turn up. You got Duke, who picked up a couple of tougher wins in the ACC against Louisville and SMU, although both of them were losing, lost their point guard and star player. So yeah, that kind of hurts them a little bit. UConn's kind of cruising through the Big East, so like UConn's higher in the AP pool because of their win loss record, but a little bit lower in ours because the Big East is just not. They lack the top end talent this year. It looks like UConn's just going to breeze through there, and then just as you start to doubt Houston a little bit, they come up with wins over Tech and Baylor. So here comes Houston again, trying to go for their third straight Big 12 title.
UConn sitting at ninth in Ken Palm's overall rankings right now, fifth in defensive efficiency. That's where they're going to get it done, man. They're just going to play that type of
What a
basketball. And
change, right? Like this, we talked about how bad they were last year on defense in the 40s, I
yeah,
think, and that's bad for Power Five, right? That's kind of where Kansas is right now. I think Kansas is 45th in defensive efficiency. They're going to probably be in that 7 to 8 range. It doesn't matter how good your offense is if you don't ever get stops. So
yeah, and
how it goes
it
down.
just starts to, even if you're winning some of these games, it's death by a thousand paper cuts. Sooner or later, you're gonna get wounded, and a lot of these teams are finding a way to do that with Kansas, right? Not a lot of teams are finding ways to do that with the teams in the top 5 of our power rankings as we get to that right now. Nebraska is still undefeated. Speaking of undefeated, so we are also Nebraska truthers on
Ow.
this show. Like, hey man, just keep getting it done. I mean, that this is one of those teams that bumped up in our rankings quite a bit here. We thought that going on the road against Ohio State, Indiana would get them, and it almost did, right? Like it's sort of, like you're sitting there and you're thinking like they could have lost either one of those
Yeah.
games, but guess what? They didn't. You know how many losses they have? Zero, Mike, and that's good enough to get them into our top 5. And then you got Purdue, Michigan, Iowa, and Arizona, man. What are your thoughts here? Obviously, Arizona hopping up to that number 1 spot
Yeah.
here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously got drop down Michigan behind Iowa State and Arizona. They have not lost, even though I think if I had to crown a champ today, probably Michigan. Can't discount Iowa State, man. Like we're just kind of waiting, right? And waiting. We'll see what this Kansas game has to do coming up this week. And then these wins over Baylor and Oklahoma State, they're quality wins. But going to Kansas is gonna be kind of tough. And I mean, I don't know, like Arizona, I guess you can call them a class of hoops right now, man. Like they've been the AP number 1. They're top 5 and I think they're 4th, yeah, in offensive and defensive efficiency. They've had 3 Big 12 games. Now they haven't played some of the top dogs in the Big 12, obviously. That's coming later. But they're not even close. Like we're seeing a lot of these teams where you're like, oh man, you guys hear the announcers, oh, you're on the road to an unranked team. Well, even when they go on the road, they're beating people by 15 to 20. So yeah, still think Arizona and Michigan, the top 2 dogs, as Johnny K says. It's crazy to see the Cornhuskers in the top 5. It's crazy to see Vanderbilt number 6 in our power rankings. Like, I mean, we were high. We were so high compared to everybody else on Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we didn't take Nebraska at all. Although we did have a commenter, Jay. Remember that was hyping up Nebraska hoops, and he was right. So here
We
we are.
got a lot of ball knowers in the live chat, and that's what happens when you hang out right here on One and Done. The liveliest live chat in all of college hoops. Our friend Ryan saying that the Nebraska ball train is going to hit a few bumps here when they start playing the upper
We
crust
keep saying that.
Big Ten. Yeah, I was going to say, man, like
Illinois, Michigan State, like it's just not
they just
happening. So
they just keep showing us what a run this will be, and I know that they're enjoying it out there in Nebraska. We're enjoying watching it here, wherever it is you are. We hope that you're enjoying the college basketball season, and that we hope you enjoy hanging out with us right here on One and Done. So make sure that you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Show your broskies and basketball some love. At One and Done CVB is where you can find us on all the socials. You can find our guy, Nape C. Hustle, who is feeling his 49ers. You can find him at Nape C. Hustle over there on X. You can find our guy, Eric the Blue pushing buttons tonight. Appreciate him at Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets. The best fantasy follow and the best football follow this side of the Mississippi. Which side, you ask? Whichever one you're on, that's the side. That's the one that's important. Shout out to all of you for hanging out with us. Shout out to that man right there for sharing your viewing device with me. I like to call him El Capitan himself, the captain of the one and done ship. We're going to get a live reaction later this week. We're going to get a DFS show on Friday. Hey, if I can put $25 into DraftKings and turn it into 60, anybody can. You need to hang out with us here on one and done. Looking forward to our DFS shows. Mike has been chasing those commas. He had some earlier in the year. And then, it's ebbs and flows in those DK streets, man. And we're going through them right now. We're going to hit some high points here really, really soon. So make sure that you hang around with us. Notification bells so you catch our DFS shows, news and notes, live reactions. We're going to catch Mountain West simulcast right here on the channel as their conference schedule fires up. So make sure that you hit all those buttons, like, subscribe, notification bells. And just for you, Darren, when you hit the like button here, it's retroactive. Pew, 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 with the laser sounds just for you, my friend. So make sure y'all hit the buttons. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you all. Take care of yourselves. Tell somebody that you love them. Until next time, my name is JAYHEINRICH. Come again. We'll see you.